This is the Bone Collector Dominic Guarini. You're listening to Wrestling Cheers. Don't turn that dial or I'll choke you out.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name. You want to go where you can see that troubles are all the same. You want to go where everybody knows your name.
And welcome back to Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, especially when we're in your own house. This is Wrestling Cheers. We like to talk about things going on in the Northeast Ohio independent wrestling scene. We preview shows, we review shows, and sometimes we even have interviews along the way. This is an interview episode with the one and only Ryder Reid. Wrestling Cheers is brought to you by the Trending Topics Network, Midwest Territory, and Key on Sports. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're listening to this fine podcast, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. Find us on all your social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. And we have the merch store over at whatamaneuver.net. And we're not going to waste any time because I'm actually sitting in my guest house. I'm a guest. How do we put that? But I have Ryder Reid.
You're the guest host guest.
Host, guest. Like, it's my podcast, but it's your house. We're both guests.
We're both guests in my house, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is the first time this has ever happened. I'm doing a lot of, first lately. This is, we're not at a wrestling show.
No.
We're not at my house.
No. I don't think we are.
I hope not. I mean, I like to.
What are you saying about my house?
No, I would like
You
to.
hope this isn't your house?
Well, I would like my dog to be here, not yours.
Oh.
No offense.
I like my dog.
I like my dog, too. I like my cat to be here, even though both of our cats have a thing for wires.
My cat's a dick.
How bad?
Like, you're holding him, petting him, and then he'll just bite you. My daughter has a scar on her back.
Wow.
For just no reason, just walking by, a cat will just lunge at her.
Did you bury your cat in Pet Cemetery?
My cat's upstairs.
Okay, that reference just went over your head. Okay, in the movie, your pet dies. You take it to this particular pet cemetery. And
when did this movie come out?
The original one came out in the 80s, early 90s, and the remake...
Guess what year I was born in?
The remake just came out.
Was it publicized?
Yes.
I don't pay attention.
You don't like movies?
But listen, I had something I wanted to say.
Okay.
Your little intro?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of disappointed in you that you got to read it off every time. I thought that, I thought it was a recorded thing because it sounds the same every time, and so that's impressive.
Thank you.
But I'm disappointed that you have to read it.
I don't read. The thing is, if you look at it, it's not reading. It's little notes where it's just.
How many years have you been doing this?
This show, podcasting total.
We'll just say Wrestling Cheers.
Okay, Wrestling Cheers, a little over 2 years is where we're at.
And you do a show a week, sometimes two?
Yeah, it's been a show a week for almost 2 years. This in the summer.
So you're at what, probably 800 episodes?
No.
Oh no, I'm thinking per days.
Yeah,
wait, shit. 150 episodes ish.
I should be a little more where I'm at. I have to.
And you haven't memorized it?
Okay, I haven't done that the whole time, and I've added stuff throughout the whole intro. There's the fact of originally this show I didn't even have a Wrestling Cheers feed. It was through the Trending Topics Network, which I helped create years ago. And then people were just like, I don't want to download all these other shows. So I was like, okay, I resurrected the old Ohio Indie Report feed, it's the same pod. I'm getting a lot of technical stuff, but basically then Wrestling Cheers had its own feed, so people could go to iTunes and download it.
We're not even on a topic yet, and we're already off topic.
Why are you asking me questions on my podcast?
Because we're in my house.
Oh, Jesus. But no, I read just notes. It just says things that I got to make sure I hit because I've been bad. I'll go through an intro and not say, actually, I did not say, my name is Justin Summers. I did not say that. See, that's why I have a note. I even have, let me pull up my notes here so you can see it.
So you can't even read the notes.
It's in parentheses, it says, introduce yourself.
It does.
Yeah, I'm really bad at it. Because you could just tell, right here, I was kind of put on the spot to do the intro.
Man, maybe we should start over.
No. That's the fun. Yeah, I totally screw up. And there's times that I don't mention the beginning stuff, and I'm not going to name who, like one of the three Trading Topics Networks, Midwest Territory, and Key on Sports, one of them was like, I thought we had a deal. And I was like, dude, I just forgot. I fucked up. That's all it was. But I got to make sure I hit.
That's when you tag them in the caption when you post it.
But I always make sure I do the rate, review, and subscribe. That's the part I can do.
That's after, though.
I do it before and after.
That's overkill.
Some people shut it off at the end, other people don't. You're supposed to have a call to action at the end, but sometimes people look at Coco Bana. A lot of stuff at the beginning, and then he has certain stuff at the end. I figured most people shut it off anyway. That's why I don't know talk about this.
Your podcast or Cole Cabana's?
Mine.
Fair.
As soon as either when you get to all right, they're wrapping it up, or all right, we're getting to the theme music. I've never talked about this, but I'll throw in bonus stuff at the end from time to time. It's not every episode. Last time I did it was a month ago.
What do you mean by bonus stuff?
When we were previewing or reviewing, might have been previewing not Wrestle Rave, because Wrestle Rave and New Jersey were so close, and I produced 2 episodes that week. They're blurring. But the preview, I think, for Slumber Party, there is a moment while we were recording that shit screwed up, and Pat and Ed couldn't hear me, but I could hear them, and everything was recording, and that is at the very end of the episode.
No one even made it that far.
I know, but I'm a fan of end credit scenes of movies, so when I throw it at the end, I'm like, if people catch it, cool, but if they don't, that's fine. You're not missing anything. It's just a bonus.
I'm with
scene.
it. I understand.
But we're not here to talk about we're here to talk about you.
Let's talk about me then.
All right. The thing that I want to get out of the way, because it was something that just listening to like other podcasts with you and everything, as much like everything that you've done, like you're right, almost at the end of your first year in ring.
Mm-hmm. Debuted May of 2018 at JLit.
This might be coming out roughly May 2019. I don't have a date in mind yet, but anyway,
I think it's late May.
Yeah, because Memorial Day weekend. JLit up until this year was Memorial Day weekend, which I loved. But actually, except the first one wasn't. How many companies like have you wrestled for? Because I feel like you're getting like with that year in, you've been into a lot, and some now regularly. I say,
company wise, probably like 10-ish, 10 to 12.
Yeah,
I mean, a couple one-offs, but most of them are regular.
Yeah,
I'd say like 10 on the high end if I were to guesstimate.
Because I know like here you do UXWA, AIW, QCW too.
QCW. I mean, I've done Mega a couple times. Like around here, I do Midwest.
Yeah.
Done Fight Society. I've done Glory Pro. Paradigm, IWA.
Paradigm. That's
Paradigm and IWA are in the same building. And
yeah. Jeffersonville, Indiana.
Yeah, Jeffersonville, Indiana.
That's a interesting place.
Thank God. I mean, thank God I was in and out.
Yeah, because I only went there once, and it wasn't for them. It was for, I'm even forgetting it. They're not around anymore. But literally, like, the first half of the card was AIW students. The only one that was later on was Dom in the main event. Mm-hmm. And that was a tag title match. Mm. Sadconf versus IFHY. You don't know who they are? I'm going to call him out on this because I fucking hate you. That's what it stands for. Crap, I can't remember everybody that's in it. There's like 3 or 4 people that's in it. Yeah.
Faction down there?
Little bit there, a little bit Ohio, a little bit like Florida, I want to say.
It's kind of a big jump. You're skipping a lot of states in there.
I think they've done Southern Underground Pro. Do you remember the oh, screw you, watch. Do you remember the promo that Derek cut where he put someone in the trunk of a car? Him and Eddie?
Yeah. Oh, was that on them?
That was them, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you kind of knew who they were.
Yeah. When continuing, where was I at? Glory Pro, I think.
Yeah.
Glory Pro. I was at IWC last week.
How I seen that. How was that? Was it the
impressive? It was their night of the superstars.
Yeah, which I went last year, which I almost went this year, but seeing
Sting full gimmick, hardcore Holly, who from the neck down looks the same.
Yeah.
From the head up, he looks like a grandfather. Hurricane Helms, full gimmick.
Yeah.
That was cool.
How was your match though?
It was a battle royal.
That's what I figured. That's what you're in because I had seen pictures posted and I saw like IWC. I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. It was a battle royal and kind of like a little tryout thing, and
That's awesome.
they told us to get something in, so
Yeah.
I got to do my head scissors driver.
Cool.
That was cool. It makes no sense in a battle royal, but got it in there.
Yeah, it's all about like obviously with those situations about impressing, and that's like one of their bigger shows of the year.
Yeah.
To where like the house that they pull, like at least the one I went to, I was like, holy shit.
Probably about 1,000.
I'd give it that.
Between 800 and 1,000, I'd say.
And the cool thing is too, like the amount of like wrestling fans it brings in of just like different kinds. When I went last year, I took a friend of mine and his son.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them have ever been to an independent wrestling show whatsoever, but they wanted to meet Rey Mysterio. So I was just, I'm like, I'll go with you. I've never been to IWC and I really want to, but this is like my opportunity. Like, let's just all do it together. And it was a fun night.
Yeah, it's fun. Weirdest thing, biggest ring I've been in. They have an 18-foot ring.
Yeah.
And every other ring I've been in has been 16-foot and like one 14-foot.
Okay.
And really weird, just like normally when you're running the ropes, it takes about 3 steps to get across. And my first time running before the show when I was warming up, I almost ate shit. It's like, that's a lot longer than 3 steps. It's weird.
I could see that. Like it's being used to something and then getting like,
yeah, I've only done it one way.
Yeah. It reminds me, because I know the only thing I had similar to this was I had a Lincoln Town car growing up, and a friend of mine had a Geo, and he always had me drive his Geo Metro.
Mm-hmm.
So to go from that small car to my big car, going back to it was weird as shit. So like I could see that with like the ring where it's just like you're home, but like it's weird. It's weird.
Yeah, like even car. I drive a stick shift.
Yeah,
and my fiance doesn't. Mm-hmm. And when I drive her car, like there's like a lot of times where I'm stopping at a red light that I'll go to push in the clutch to put it in a manual. I'm like, yeah, there's no clutch there.
The ghost clutch, as I call it,
ghost clutch.
Because I've never driven stick in a car.
Only in a truck.
Only in a semi. And the company I'm with now, they do automatics. So when I first got into one of those trucks, mm-hmm. I said I was going for the ghost clutch or the ghost shifter. To where like I'm reaching to like put it in neutral.
Yep.
And I'm like, nope, it's not there.
Sucks.
It's weird. And two, like I would do it sometimes in my car.
Yeah.
So used to like, cause like what you were saying.
You're driving what, 8+ hours a day? Like,
yeah, roughly. And it's just used to like, when I'm in my own car, like kind of what you were saying, like it's just, no, I'm not in this. Or sometimes even cause my gear shifter's in the middle, mm-hmm. I'll like try to do the neutral.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Thing, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Nope, you're not it.
Put it in reverse out of nowhere while you're driving.
Yeah. How long have you been driving stick for?
My first car was stick.
Really?
And yeah, and then I traded that in. I got a Kia Optima with like all like the bells and whistles. Like the driver's seat would back up when I turned the car off, so I had extra leg room to get out. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, I had heated and cooled seats, heated steering wheel. And then I got hit and that car got totaled.
Oh, I've never had the cooled seats or the heated steering wheel, but I always know in the winter, like heated car seats are just lifesavers.
Yep.
Or even maybe like if your back's hurting or something, just like sit there for a while.
Yeah. So then I overspent on a Focus ST,
mm-hmm.
brand new car, bad decision. It's just murdering my bank account.
Yeah. I feel that a little bit with my car.
It looks fuel efficient.
Oh, okay, yeah, it's fuel efficient, but my monthly payment is not.
What are you at? I'll tell you what I'm at if you tell me what you're at. 5? I'm at 465.
540.
540?
540. No down payment.
I put money down though.
Yeah, I put no money down. I didn't have. It gets into a much trickier story.
You want to start talking about credit scores?
No, because there's a certain reason why I can't. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Oh shit.
That's because of the car that I had before this.
Next topic.
Yeah.
Cleveland weather.
As we're recording this, it's a nice day out, but it's a little cold.
It's been 5 seasons in this one day. It was snowing this morning. Now it's like 65.
Yeah. It's the time of the year where like you'll wear a coat or something at the beginning of the day, and at the end of the day you're like, fuck this.
Absolutely. That was a seamless transition that we just had.
Yeah.
Seamless.
Yeah, what you pointing it out like makes it like, oh, hey, look how great we did. Now we have to go from that. But anyway,
it deserved acknowledgement.
Yeah, that crazy. By the time this comes out, I think we'll be back to like summer weather. But the fact that like everything is just so unpredictable, like even just yesterday, as for recording, fuck
the rain and hail,
and like where I was at, like almost a freaking tornado.
Oh yeah, there are tornadoes, pouring down rain and hail. Next morning it's snowing, and then it's like nice spring day later on in the day, all within 24 hours.
Yeah.
I was being sarcastic when I said that we witnessed all the seasons, but we literally did.
Yeah, pretty much. Like within 2 days, which
I have flowers blooming out front too.
Yeah, I'm happy at least the real winter shit is gone. Like, yeah, it snowed this morning.
Dude, I hate it.
Being up here, that's what when I started my job, it like snowing was kind of done. If it snowed, it was like nothing that really had to be plowed or anything, nothing, just small shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, great. So like when November hits next year, it's going to suck.
Yeah.
November, December. Because I'm not used to driving up here all the time. And I'm like going back and forth from west side and east side a lot on certain days.
And that's not a job that you have a clock out time.
No, you found that out today.
Yeah. If you aren't done with your route, like you got to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
Hourly?
At this job, yes.
That's a benefit.
My previous job, I was salary per day.
I'm salary and commission. It's like the two worst forms of payment.
Salary per day for a truck driver, though, kind of nice.
Well, yeah, because you can just stop whenever you want. Well, if you're over the road.
Well, normally if you're over the road, you get paid per mile or percentage.
Yeah, normally.
But with me, I was still home every day. I was getting paid just for a day of work. And whether I worked 3 hours, and I always did the same thing, but sometimes I'd have to like bring my truck back to the yard early. Yeah, I got paid for a full day. Like I've talked about this on the show, and it was like also too, like I would get snow days. Oh, hey, terminals closed for outgoing traffic, so stay at home with pay.
That's some bullshit.
Well, there were some minor disadvantages. I'll throw my old company under the bus. Back in February, my mother passed away, and they didn't have grievance days, which I never even knew what they were, but it's basically free days off when you have someone close to you like that pass away.
Yeah, or like if it's like a parent, you get like 3 days. If it's like a grandma or grandpa, you get like a day or 2.
I got none.
Is that legal?
With trucking, it can be weird. Like, because like we get paid per mile. Like people can get paid per mile, and like we don't really get sick days. Thankfully, my new job has it. So I'm like, yes, sick days.
I see why you have a new job.
There's other reasons behind it, but yeah,
this is the Ryder Reid podcast, dude.
When are you starting one?
Huh?
When are you starting a podcast?
Oh, I'm not. Everything is so oversaturated with podcasts right now. Nobody realizes that Justin Summers was here first.
Well,
not first, but
locally I was.
Yeah,
for wrestling, I should say, because I was other stuff. And now there's like a bunch of other ones. Some I like, other ones I don't. But I'm not going to get into that bullshit. But where the hell were we talking about? We're going everywhere. Work. Yeah, it's.
Can I plug in another topic change? Because work is depressing.
Yeah. Okay, this was talked about on the AIW podcast. Not the AIW podcast, but School Sucks to the AIW Patreons. And I don't think everybody gets that. Like, literally, I didn't hear it till today, thanks to a friend of mine. And I'm not going to get into that, but how did you hear about AIW?
Well, it started out, I actually had fallen out of watching wrestling for a while.
Okay, then let's go before that. Like, because there was a couple questions I was thinking of like early on. Like, okay, a very typical podcast question, but where did you start with professional wrestling? And then we can move to eventually falling out and then coming back. And then
I started as a young kid watching it. I can't remember the exact. It was probably a Raw or something.
Yeah,
but we me and my mom and grandma were taking a road trip to Florida.
Okay.
And we had stopped at a hotel halfway and scrolling through the channels, and I'm like 5 or 6.
Huh.
And wrestling is on TV, and whoever just happened to stop on it, and it's Triple H in a bathroom just gushing blood.
Okay.
And I don't remember, like I said, I was like 5 or 6, but something clicked in my head that I loved it. I can't explain it, but Triple H and blood was fantastic to me. And do
you hate Triple H or something?
Huh?
Do you hate Triple H?
No, dude, I love Triple H. Triple H is the man. Anyway, we after Florida, we got back home, and I was a every week Raw and SmackDown kid.
Okay. Shows you how young you are when you say and SmackDown.
Yeah, I mean, that was probably 04, 05.
It's that weird thing of talking.
I was born in 96. I was born in 96.
When's your birthday?
February 14th. Valentine's Day, baby.
Dude, you were a month and a half when my favorite wrestling moment happened. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 12, Iron Man match.
I wasn't even able to hold my head up yet.
Yeah,
I was still shitting tar.
I've always had fun with Caden. I'm like, dude, you weren't even thought of when like that moment happened.
He's a lot more well versed with wrestling history, though.
Oh God, yes, dude knows a lot. If he had his own ambition to do a podcast, like his own wrestling podcast,
history,
class. He could kill it. But okay, so you're watching during Raw and SmackDown. Is there anything you say you kind of remember that? But when did you first start comprehending what was going on? The example I give, because for me, my dad was always watching it, and I would see it. But when I really started like getting pulled in, and like the first storyline that I remember, I'm like, okay, was Lex Luger slamming Yokozuna on the aircraft carrier.
You're going to feel old.
Of course I am, because that was before you were born.
Unforgiven, I think 06, Cena and Edge TLC.
Okay.
Is when I got real hooked.
Okay.
That's when it was like I'm stuck.
Yeah.
So then after that, like we couldn't really afford like pay-per-views and stuff, so we would go up to like local bars and stuff and watch pay-per-views and eat food and stuff. And I
hold on, isn't that a crazy concept?
That's how it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even besides our age difference, it was just like I remember trying to convince my dad to get some of these pay-per-views, and that's back when
they were $50-$60 a pop.
Even before that, when In Your House was a thing, like that was like $15-$20, and regular pay-per-views were like $25-$30. But obviously prices go up, but now with the network, it's like
$10 a month and you get everything.
Yeah. There's no, like, kids today, these damn kids today, they don't have to like, oh, Dad, can we get Royal Rumble?
It's like, no, go on your smart TV.
Yeah, it's like, no, yeah, you already have it. It's just go in there and like watch it.
Right.
I had like, I'll never forget friends of mine, or should say, we were trying to convince our parents to get pay-per-views, and they used to get them back and forth. Like, we'd get it and they'd come over and vice versa. The one pay-per-view that my friend did something fucked up, they weren't going to get it, but we got it, and he wasn't allowed to come over. Over the Edge, 1999, when Owen Hart fell.
Oh, no.
It was so weird that was the one.
Yeah. That's kind of, man, that's kind of depressing. Like, it's a little touchy.
Yeah. But going into school next day, it's like, dude, you missed it. I don't say it was a great thing, but it was just like, holy shit.
Like your favorite wrestler. Well, maybe not favorite, but like...
No, at that time.
No. An iconic guy.
Oh, God, yes. That's... Because this is what I've always said, too. Like, with those two, that was such a great feud. Between those brothers. It was Thor and Loki now with the Marvel movies.
Right.
But I got to witness it in a wrestling ring.
And then it's just gone.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah.
God, this took a dark turn.
Okay, so you're watching around that time.
Yep.
Into it, so you got to be a Cena kid.
Huh?
You were a Cena kid?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
I had like the little spinning like chain and everything.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think
the spinner title is still the best looking championship ever made.
Really?
No.
Okay.
The UK title is the best looking title ever made. I love that freaking belt.
I like it, but I'm still hardcore partial to the Winged Eagle. Love that belt.
It's because you're old.
Fuck off. There's some other good. The Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
Current design slash
white strap. White strap.
Black strap.
White strap. Classy. That's a classy title and needs a classy look.
But I'm to the point where that we've seen that for so long that I'm like, yeah, now the black strap on that.
They don't need to
classy.
change design. They change designs too often.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than the oval.
Would like to warn our listeners that my fiance and children just got home.
Okay.
And if Mr. Justin Summers wasn't so late to the party.
Thank my job. Thank traffic on 9480.
Maybe we'll get some guest audio from Peyton.
Well, that's what I was kind of hoping for.
Oh, really?
Well, like
we'll make it happen.
We're recording. Kids come in. Hey,
it's gonna happen. But so I was watching around that time. I'd say around like my 8th grade, 9th grade years. Like,
okay,
I kind of fell out. It wasn't for any reason. It was like, oh, I missed this week. Oh, I missed the last 2 weeks, and then it just faded out of nowhere. It wasn't intentional. It like I think a year went by, and I was like, shit, what the hell happened?
That's such a human thing too, because I feel like if you miss a week of like certain TV shows, like you could just be after a while, you're just like, no, fuck it.
Given what's going on right now, like Game of Thrones, actually that happened to me with Walking Dead. Like I missed because they used to have, I don't know if they still do. Walking Dead would come on at 8, and then at 7 o'clock they would play the previous week.
Yeah.
So if I missed a week, I would just start watching at 7 the next week, so I can catch up.
Yeah.
And then I missed like 2 in a row, and then I just said fuck it.
Oddly enough, 2 shows I don't watch.
I just started Game of Thrones. Like I'm like about halfway through the 3rd season right now.
Oh, I think I've seen your fiance say something.
I am trying so hard to like not get spoilers, and I've done very, very well so far.
Yeah.
I mean, I have like 4 more seasons just to catch up. There's no way I'm not going to get a spoiler.
Yeah, you might. I don't know. I feel like you might catch something, but it also depends on what you keep away from.
I've like unliked everything on social media, and
yeah,
actually these last 2 days I pretty much stayed off of it because I know people are going to start posting shit.
Because I know when I started watching Dexter, I was like, all right, I'm not going to like the Facebook page until I catch up, because if I don't do that, like I just like it immediately, like, oh, I like Dexter now. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get ruined, and that was in the middle of its run. Like I think I started watching like between season 4 and 5.
Do you have ADHD?
Why?
Because I don't have it like diagnosed, but I'm convinced I have it. We cannot stay on topic.
Conversations don't run like perfectly. Your daughter.
My daughter's looking in the window right now.
We're adding some great audio. What's going on?
Hi, hon. All right, fill this time with something. I'm gonna go open up the door.
I can just hit pause for a second. Well, no, I want to keep it running because we need to get a lot of the reactions. So Ryder Reid is going to the door and he's opening up the door, and his daughter has his.
Hey, sorry, I'm back. Peyton, come here. Peyton. She's being shy.
What's the weird guy doing with the microphones? Hi.
Hey, hon. My sexy fiance just got home. We want a guest audio from Peyton. She's being shy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think I was going to mention too, like, it's that crazy thing because I was pretty much almost adult when Cena started, and obviously through the big run of stuff, I was 18 and up, 20 or whatever.
Did you ever fall out? No.
I've had it where before, like, TiVo was a thing where I was working and I couldn't like watch Raw, but I like hear about it. I'd say I like caught up, but I never really fell out. But it's like I witnessed that as an adult and like thinking of like, oh my god, see, like I went through like a Cena sucks stage. Like I hate this guy.
I got there.
Yeah, but I look at it as like I'm part of the generation of like Hogan and Warrior and Macho, and then also bridging into like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. And you look back at it like, wow, at least the first 3 that I mentioned, at least probably a lot of Warrior and Hogan. It's like, wow, they weren't really that good.
No,
but I love them.
But it's a target demographic that they're going for, in that they do a really good job of hitting.
Oh god, yeah.
WWE marketing is unarguably the best in the world.
Up
like,
there, if not the top.
Like, let's figure out
Disney.
I'm talking wrestling wise.
Okay.
So like they can design specific personas to hit different target demographics, and that's what I think. I don't want to say indie wrestling is like lacking that, just because like there's so many options. You can find any persona anywhere times 11.
Yeah,
but they can be like, okay, where are sales lacking?
Yeah,
and okay, let's design a guy to hit that market.
Well, even with like through the age, because this is how I look at more as an adult now. It's like, okay, we loved, at least my generation, like we loved Hogan, we loved Warrior. I don't know if there was older fans at that time saying, oh my God, Hogan's is complete garbage. Look at Ric Flair. Ric Flair's the best. And there was definitely people out there like that. And then when Cena was big, it was pointing to other wrestlers. Like, well,
The Rock and stuff.
I don't even know. I want to say The Rock. I mean, well, Rock and Stone Cold, like, I always get it when, like, I've seen wrestling fans at one point go, Cena sucks. He has 5 moves of doom. I like Stone Cold. I'm like,
Stone Cold has 5 moves of doom.
Like,
Bret Hart had five moves of doom.
Like, that's the WWE formula. Like, you have moves that you pull out for special occasions and all that stuff, but it's normally a 5 move
standard. Every indie wrestler has probably read Mike Quackenbush's book, and he talks about the 5 moves of doom.
Yeah,
and standard matches, standard length matches give you enough time for 5 moves of doom. Like Bret Hart, sharpshooter, middle rope elbow drop, Russian leg sweep. Like those are all moves that you're going to see in every single standard Bret Hart length match.
Yeah.
As you start to get more time, you start to add in different things. Like your B-side, as I'll call it.
Okay, that's one way to put it. But I've looked at it as like, as adults, I hated Cena. And now I feel like we're getting to the point now with Roman, where even a couple years ago, I was like, oh my God, Roman sucks. But I'm like, there's a generation out there that love him. And when they become adults, they're going to worship Roman. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I love Roman Reigns.
I like him too.
I don't understand what there's not to love about that guy.
Because people think WWE forced him down your throats. But at the same time...
So what is there to not like?
Yeah.
Why is he the wrong guy?
Because they want to be...
He has the exact look that you're going for. People think he's not charismatic. I think he is.
How familiar are you with the band Rage Against the Machine?
Extremely.
Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. Fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. That's basically the mentality of just fuck you, I won't do what you tell me. But it's like, dude, like, somebody's got to go over. Somebody's got to be like, somebody's got to appeal to that demographic, like we were saying earlier.
Yeah.
Because when I was watching, like, I was always like definitely rooting for like Bret Hart and Shawn. I was like, they got to win, they got to win, they got to win. I had to have those moments where they lost, but I had to have those moments where they won too, or I would just think they were the Cleveland Browns. It's one way to put it.
You want to talk about my Browns?
They're my Browns too. But yeah, so you hit middle school, end of middle school, early high school, and you just said
yeah, it just naturally, I guess, just kind of fell out, and I started playing music like in bands and
girls.
Well, first I was playing football, and then I joined ski club my freshman year of high school, and I was doing some dumb shit, and I broke the C7 in my neck, and I was told I couldn't play contact sports anymore.
Okay.
So I stopped playing football. I picked up music.
Okay.
That was going on for about 5 years, and I came to realize I wasn't very good. And I had gone to my doctor and a different doctor, and he seemed to think that there was no reason for me to not be able to play contact sports.
Okay.
So I started playing semi-pro football.
Okay.
This is post-high school.
Yeah.
All this time, not watching wrestling, not even keeping up, not checking in, nothing.
So, like, you drifted so far away to where it's like there was nothing.
It wasn't even a thought
just
process.
Like, yeah, it was just like it's just almost part of your childhood at that point.
Yeah. It was a childhood memory.
Yeah.
And then started dating my fiance Tori, and we went over her brother-in-law's house. Pat Franklin, Ronald Two Legs,
friend of the show. Well, other co-host, whatever. But yeah.
And he had Raw on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just kind of like on in the background, but like my eyes were like glued. I'm like, I don't know who any of these fucking people are. Like Finn Balor was on, Seth Rollins is on. I think they were actually building to their SummerSlam feud
for the Universal title.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was the start of that.
Wow.
No, it was before that. Anyway.
Yeah.
That was like made me realize I was like, I used to love this. Like, I used to go in the backyard, like on my trampoline, and like take off the side net, jump off a ladder, like onto a fucking teddy bear, and like I was like, I wanted to be that.
Yeah.
So the next couple days, I'm like looking for schools, just seeing what was out there.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to Pat, and he was like, AIW, if you do anything else, this family will disown you.
Yeah.
And I said, yes, sir. So I messaged AIW. Dom then emailed me and went and checked it out. And honestly, it's like I'm a kid again. I still watch wrestling as a fan.
We have it on the TV right now.
Yeah, we got this past TakeOver on TV.
We don't have to mention who's in the match. Just please don't.
Why?
Were you not around for that era?
For what era?
For those who know who was on the TakeOver, when the one guy was booked at AIW and stopped taking
I was not
bookings?
around for that era.
Yeah, there's a reason why.
There's a lot that I don't know because I'm still so fresh at this. Because I went from not knowing, like, I knew like what the indies were, and I only
this is something I did kind of want to get into. Like,
well, this is perfect.
Yes,
because I didn't really know shit about the indies. The only thing that I knew that really existed was Ohio Valley. And the only reason I knew that was the old Cena DVD where he had a match with him and Randy Orton from OVW.
Do you remember which DVD? He has a lot.
The one where the discs are the car wheels.
Okay, like, is that the John Cena Experience?
No.
The only reason why I ask is because for the longest time, like my first year being an AIW fan, there was a signed John Cena DVD, the Word Life DVD.
That's it.
It was Word Life?
Yes.
I bought it because I got sick of it just sitting there. It was only $10.
Autographed? And that didn't get snatched up?
No, because the demographic at that time, we're talking like 2011, 2012, people hated Cena.
Oh my God. I don't want to get into that right now. But I didn't even really know what the indies were. So I had a lot of catching up to do. So honestly, last night I went back and I watched Matt Cross versus Adam Cole at AIW. That was a good match.
God, yeah.
But it's like I have not only so much AIW to still catch up on.
Yeah.
But I'm studying like a lot of things. Along with trying to maintain my job and raising my children and upkeeping my house and taking bookings and going to training and getting into the gym. It's real hard to just sit and just watch wrestling.
How much have you looked into like the Cleveland scene outside of AEW? History.
What do you mean? History wise, not. I'm gonna be honest, like not that much. Just for the simple fact of 24 hours in a day. And I want to know who I'm wrestling for now. Sure.
If you get a chance, you might have to go on Fight TV. I think you can rent it for a couple $. PWO, Resolution 4. I've talked about this match a lot, and I think you might get a kick out of it.
Why is that?
Because it was a triple threat match. Johnny Gargano, M-Dog Matt Cross, Josh Prohibition.
I'm already in.
That was, and I've talked about this to death on the show, that was my introduction to independent wrestling. That was my first match that I saw on TV. You can go on YouTube and there's a snippet of the match. I know I could send you that link, and it is good. It is so good.
My first independent show was Absolution 12.
Episode 12.
2017.
Refresh me. Who was in that? Who was on that show? Absolution. If you're not Absolution 10, it just runs together because it's obviously Mount Carmel.
It was Mount Carmel.
Is that Biggins?
Biggins had just died.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, hot day.
Yeah, that they did the 10 bell salute. Okay. Everybody had on the armbands.
Yes. Remember that.
So I came in at a rough time.
Yeah. Did you meet Biggins?
This is rough too. I started training a week almost to the day before he passed. I never got to meet Biggins.
Oh, Biggins is so great. Yeah, you missed out on a lot. not even just AIW, what's probably the one thing you regret missing, whether it be locally or even WWE, that you're like, I wish I was watching at this time?
That's hard. I miss getting into it sooner. Honestly, I'm 23 and I'm not even 1 year after my debut, and that scares me a little bit. Just because these days it's 10, 15 years until you're signed, and then it's how many years after that until you're in? I feel like I'm getting a late start, I guess. I mean,
Batista started really late. If that gives you
that's true. A lot of guys do, but I'm also not 6'4", 280 pounds of pure muscle. I feel at a disadvantage, and maybe I'm just crazy. I might be, but what I would give to be 18, like on my 18th birthday, start training me. I feel like I've lost time in like my own career.
Yeah.
And I regret not watching more indies.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't know. I didn't have anybody to show me.
Oh yeah. Like when I started watching like PWO and everything, and I was like, oh my God, like there's all this stuff, like this is here. And then when I got more and more in, I'm like, wow, we're in a really good area.
Yeah, we really are.
Why didn't I pick this up sooner? And I remember watching like the Backyard Wrestling videos, because at that time it was VHS that I was watching, like the first two on, like M-Dog and J-Pro, that's here. But to me, it was just some dudes on a VHS. They were nobodies. But it turns out like everything that they did, and then with the Backyard Wrestling game, like even I wish I would have gotten this sooner. I'm not even a wrestler, but because I mean I feel like coming from a fan's point of view, you missed out on a lot. Even not even just that, like WWE, everything with Punk. Like the rise.
Oh my God, I can't believe I didn't think of that. I am such a Punk mark.
I thought you were going to say that, actually.
Oh my God.
That was the moment that a lot of fans were coming back, because they were just like, what's going on? What happened?
That is one thing that I have gone back and revisited, and my fiance can attest, I've done it about 40 times.
She says maybe more if that didn't pick up on the microphone. The crazy thing about that night, sometimes like being in the moment is the best, because I'll never forget.
Pipe bomb was a work, by the way.
Well, thank you. Thank you. But at that moment when Raw went off the air, it was, what happened? What was that? Was that real? Was that scripted? What's going on? And you don't get those moments a lot where fans who know better, know that it's a work and all that stuff, just go, wait a minute, what happened? What happened?
That it's very rare. These days, fans are smarter than they've ever been.
Yeah, some are dumb.
And generally, they know. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, that's one that like it's still talked about. Like,
oh yeah, like
we don't know.
Really good promo.
Just judging by the fact that he's not back.
Yeah.
Was it shoot? Like I think we can sit here and say that it was a work, but
there was a lot of truth put in, and that's why it was
exactly.
Like, oh my God. Which the fact that he mentioned Colt Cabana, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, was like,
and
what?
And Cena, he does that sometimes still. Like, I remember when he had his brief feud with Roman, he was like, it's a promo, kid, look it up. It was like using
yeah.
stuff like that. It's
or WrestleMania with Elias.
Oh yeah,
everything that he had in there, like, oh, I'm gonna turn heel,
yeah,
and I'm gonna bury you. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Failed wrestling experiment. That was good.
So
that whole segment was great.
I went back and rewatched it a couple times already. Like, even going back with that, it was okay. Elias at the ring. I figured like Undertaker was gonna come out that night, but when I saw like the whole Babe Ruth thing, I'm like, that's not Undertaker,
right?
Like, that doesn't fit Cena,
dude. Cena what is your wrestling, and we'll just say WWE, WWF, what is your wrestling Mount Rushmore?
Okay, here's my thing with that. I look at Mount Rushmore a little bit different than people. People look at it as it's basically your four greatest.
Yeah.
I look at it's your greatest by era. And if you want to get technical, the history of Mount Rushmore, it's 3 great presidents, and the 4th one is on there just because he was friends with the guy who made it, and that's Theodore Roosevelt. So basically it's your your 3 great ones, and like one person who's like, I kind of like them. I go Bruno Sammartino, Hogan, Austin, Cena. Hogan could be interchanged between probably him and Macho Man, but depending on how you feel, even Andre too. I think sometimes instead of Bruno, I put Andre.
But Bruno's, well, they both had like super lengthy title reigns, like years.
I didn't think was Andre lengthy.
Yeah, wasn't he?
I need Caden.
Am I wrong? Wasn't he like yeah, somebody call Caden.
But it's like those two are up there. Austin could either be him or The Rock, but I think since Austin and The Rock, it's Cena. If we went after that now, it's Roman, but we're out of like 4.
Now, I was just putting Roman over, but I don't know if I would put Roman on my modern day Mount Rushmore. As far as complete package,
I think as time goes on, because it depends on how you look at Mount Rushmore. I look at the most popular of the era. Or like,
you're just talking popularity. Then that's not even like you can't even have like an argument about that. You can't argue who's like the most popular guy. Then yeah, it's like Roman now, Cena the last era, Rock before that,
Rock or Austin.
That's
they're neck and neck.
Yeah, I'm just talking about like complete package. I'm talking about promo skills, persona, in-ring talent, their look.
Shawn Michaels number one.
Okay, so Shawn Michaels is on your Mount Rushmore.
Definitely. I mean, if we're talking that, it's with Mount Rushmore, it's so subjective and like what's your category. But for what you're saying, Shawn Michaels, give me more of yours because I'm really partial to Brett. But let's face it, as much as I love him, those promos not that good.
Yeah,
like
a solid 6.
Yeah, like but he had some great moments as like in promos, but normally it was kind of working.
He was no Ric Flair.
No, but I'm not high on Ric Flair.
Ric Flair promos?
Ric Flair as a whole. Your daughter, she's got her list, I think.
I can tell you hers right now. Hers is Philly Collins, Marino Tenaglia, Wes Barkley,
really?
And maybe if I'm lucky, Ryder Reid.
Oh, what about Zach Thomas?
Not anymore.
Oh, no more. Don't like Zach Thomas anymore. Oh, did she just say yes?
He put Papa through a skateboard. Anyway, so are you putting Bret Hart on yours or not?
No, Piper.
Okay,
Piper definitely goes up there.
If I'm doing mine, since I've been alive, we'll just say just since I've been alive. I'm putting Punk on there. I'm putting Jericho on there.
I got a third one that would go as my Theodore Roosevelt. I think he goes up there, but he gets a lot of shit from fans. The Miz, especially over the last couple of years.
He is drastically improved in the ring.
I love it.
He's gotten real good.
Mm-hmm.
I love Cleveland.
My whole thing, like I don't want to go dig too much into this. I don't like Punk because I felt like he made such a fuss about Miz becoming champion and all that he kind of like. I'm not going to get
into my opinions on Punk as a person.
But what I'm saying, he stole that momentum, did everything he did, and then when he was starting to get into the Raw end of the deal, he was like, "No, I'm done." I mean, there's other stuff in there too, but he's like, "Oh, I wasn't getting championships. I wasn't getting this. I wasn't main eventing WrestleMania."
No, I'm totally salty about CM Punk the person.
Yeah, but
CM Punk the wrestler is. I'm just gonna mark out right now. That just know I'm marking out talking about Punk.
Okay, but I'm gonna throw Miz number 3. As much as I like Daniel Bryan, promos aren't. They're technically he's a little bit like the Miz. He's gotten better, but
his heel stuff is good.
Yeah, but I've even heard wrestlers say it's easier to be a heel.
It is. Okay. It is.
I think,
and I would prefer to be a babyface.
Yeah,
but heel is definitely easier.
Yeah. Getting people to hate you?
Yeah.
It's easy. But getting them to like you? And
real hard.
Stay liking you?
Yeah, because it's especially hard if you go out there and like you're trying to be a babyface and they're not taking to it.
We didn't know how to take you at first.
That me? Oh, if you want to talk about me, no, dude, I'm not even on my original freaking gimmick. That sucked.
I think it was...
It was bad. It was forced and it was bad. You can go ahead and say it.
That comes more from your side, but I feel like...
Let's talk about the evil within Ryder Reid.
That's been talked about in the AIW podcast. I just listened to that today. I look at it as Zach Thomas was established. We knew who he was.
He was wrestling for 2 years prior to the AIW debut, though.
That's why we knew him. So it was like there was familiarity. Mm. There was Wes Barkley, who had been on the AIW podcast for ever.
Yeah. Well, he had started training a long time ago, and then he had gotten that back injury at training, and which sidelined him for a while.
Yeah.
He was actually, I think he was supposed to be in the Bishop Trey class.
Yeah, I think he was.
But he ended up being in ours.
Yeah. So then we had those two.
Not to mention his fan base which kind of established that.
God. Then we had TKD, which you knew, like
his attire alone coming out breaking the board,
or even just like I knew because TKD, Taekwondo. I'm like, okay, I get who he is. I'm like, who the hell's Ryder Reid?
Yeah,
like he just looks mean.
It was rough.
Bald head.
I tried putting out that semi creepy promo beforehand to kind of get it established, and it was a poor man's Marty Skrull promo.
But at least like you found your niche at the Warped Tour.
Yeah, that was the biggest thing for me.
We don't need to get into that. That was been talked to death already on another podcast. What do you hear them? Go find them. Just type in Ryder Reid. So I think that was like that to me. That was the biggest thing. But you did the right thing of like you found where you needed to be, and I think one of the hardest things. Like if you don't get it right the first time, it's like trying to change it. And even when you quote get it right the first time, you still have to like tweak
and add. Actually, I get these like random ideas all the time, and
like shaving your beard.
Now look, I was trying to make it look nice, and I just fucked up. I fucked up like 6 times while shaving or while trimming, and then it ended up.
So it went trim, shave.
Yeah, so like I was trying to do like a bald fade on my beard, and PSA, everybody go to a professional.
Okay.
And then so I took it way too low down my face. I'm like, all right, maybe we'll go for like a goatee or something. I'm like, I look like my father. And so I took off the mustache part, and it was just like a little chin thing. I was like, this is all terrible. Like
when I see you, like fresh,
I didn't want.
I was like, what the?
I wanted to be like, I want to be like Thor, and I'm injured. I can't wrestle today. You're injured. What? My face is just bad.
I think the funny thing was the one time your fiance posted something on Instagram with you, and I mentioned something about like he needs to grow his beard back. She's like, I know.
I hate my face. My face sucks,
dude. When I did the thing for Halloween and I shaved to look like Gene.
Yeah, you need to never shave again either. Let's make a pact right now. Wrestling Cheers episode blank because I don't know
100 something.
100
is going to be at this point
ish.
Yeah.
Justin Summers and Ryder Reid will never shave again. I can't even trust myself to trim my beard.
The thing is with me, I did it because it was committing to a costume.
It doesn't matter. Don't do it again.
Dude, you got to admit, I look like Gene Belcher.
You did.
It was perfect. Like that day.
For what, a 3-hour party?
That day, it was awesome. The next day, it was like, crap. I'm clean shaved for the first time in like, I forget how many years. I hated it.
I'm never shaving again.
Yeah.
It's not happening.
I don't want to. Like now I feel like I'm back to like normal, and it took like 6 months.
I think all men should have facial hair.
Some people can't do it. Like I can barely do it. Like I got a bald spot on my chin.
So do I. It's kind of like underneath though.
Yeah, but mine's literally like a bald spot.
You kind of do. It just looks like a super intense like chin strap.
The funny thing is people don't notice it. Then I point out, they're like, oh, wow. Like, yeah, I hate it. You want to get your fiance on the mic now?
I'm trying to.
Trying to get your daughter on the mic, and she was just whispering. Okay, I mean, this is kind of a perfect opportunity. Very little has ever really been talked about your family. Of everything that I've heard, it's like you've mentioned your fiance kind of in passing, you've mentioned your kids in passing, kind of given like an open opportunity for you to just gush about them. And it's even worse because she's here. Like,
yeah, for the people listening, my fiance is standing about 10 feet away from us as we record this.
Yes.
So I'm very limited on what I can say. No, I'm just kidding. You want to talk about my family life? How personal, how deep do you want to get here?
That's up to you. We can go as deep as you want, but
You want the history of the Ryder Reid family? Okay.
So it all started.
It all started when I saw one of Tori's selfies, and I was like, damn, she hot. And so I liked said selfie, and then she liked 3 of mine, and then I liked 3 of hers.
Wow.
And then I messaged her.
Okay.
This is such a millennial
dude,
way
that's exactly what I was thinking.
of meeting.
Like, you guys met online? Or
on Instagram. I messaged her. I was like, girl, we can do this all day.
wow, you've met on Instagram. Oh, Jesus.
Instagram, dude. I've never even had a Tinder. How about that?
No. It's not even that aspect of it. I did have one ex that I met on MySpace.
They should bring MySpace back.
Technically, I met kind of two on MySpace, but that's a different story. But that's so long ago. And like your Instagram. Holy.
Again, born in 96.
Because I was even wondering, like, did you guys go to school? Like, okay. How did you find each other on Instagram? It's not like you just typed in like certain things, like, oh, here's this person.
Well, when I would sit in math class my senior year, she would be in a class across the hall, and she was really hot.
Okay. I had a weird feeling there was school involved. Maybe
yeah, but
you guys
like
are
we
young,
never.
But...
The only other time that we had talked is I had gone into her work with a friend of mine, and
what is this work?
Huh?
What is this work?
Mark's.
Okay.
She worked at Mark's, and I had gone in there.
I want to set the scene because whether it would be a grocery store or like fast food or whatever. Okay, so Mark's.
She was working the customer service counter.
Okay.
And my friend also worked at Mark's, but like wasn't working at that time. So we go up to the customer service counter, and she is like, I like your tattoos. And I was like, I like your tattoos. And we kind of just like blushed back and forth. And then we didn't talk again for another 5-6 months.
Wow, taking your time. Slow approach on that one.
She had a boyfriend. So this is where I'll get a little serious and a little personal. Peyton is not biologically my daughter.
Okay. Peyton
had already existed before I came around. Tori and her, as Zach Thomas will call him, the OG baby daddy. They had broken up, and we very casually met over Instagram, and I had just gone through a breakup of my own.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, would you like to go and get some lunch and maybe talk about how sad we are?
Oh, God.
And that's what I said.
I have a feeling he's serious, but
she was like, she was like, so like a date? I'm like, no, like I'm fucking sad and you're also sad. Let's go talk about our sadness. She was like, so like a date? I'm like, yeah, fine, a fucking date. You want to go to date? Like,
I'd have been like a weird date.
Super awkward date. We're both like a week removed from our previous relationships.
Okay, did you talk about your previous relationships?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, I was gonna say, because the weird thing is you're not supposed to talk about like exes on your first date.
We didn't talk much about it, but. Yeah. It was your typical get to know each other. We went to Quaker Steak. We did some indoor.
Good choice.
We did some indoor putt. Got some lemon berry. Pretty eventful first date.
What'd you get at Quaker Steak?
She got sliders. And ate like 2 bites out of 1. Boy, was this a false alarm. This girl can put away food like nobody I've ever seen. And on that date, she ate like 2 bites. She was like, I'm so full. I don't eat that much.
I'm shaking my head.
About a month later, she's gorging Mexican food every day. After I got hooked.
What did you get?
Probably a burger. I don't remember.
I have a rule with Quaker Steak.
What's that?
If you go there and you don't get wings, why did you go there?
But it was the first date. I didn't want to get messy.
I don't know.
She was a hot redhead, and I was trying to not fuck it up.
I know.
So I knew she had a kid.
Yeah.
I knew all that.
Yeah.
My parents are very traditional, and when I mean traditional, I mean like 2 generations ago traditional.
Gotcha.
So one night, 3 weeks into us dating, I was over her parents' house. We were watching a movie.
Okay.
Her parents went to bed. Tori had fallen asleep, and then I had fallen asleep.
Okay.
This is genuine. There was nothing hanky-panky wise going on.
You guys were sleeping, quote unquote.
I fell asleep on the couch.
Uh-huh.
I woke up at about 5:30 in the morning, and I started work at 6.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh fuck, I fucked up. And I get in my car. I'm driving to work. I'm like calling my mom. She's not answering. I got home after work that night, and my parents kicked me out.
Wow.
They kicked me out.
For how long?
Ever. I haven't gone back.
Whoa.
So discussing this with her parents, they allowed me to move in.
How long was this in?
3.5 weeks.
So you go from going like really slow to like moving in 3 weeks. Like, do you have a middle range?
You know how many times I've been asked that? Man, we should have started this conversation earlier in the podcast.
So third kid's coming soon, right?
No, she wants one. No, we'll get there. So very respectfully, we spent about 4 months there and saved up money, got an apartment, got furniture and stuff. Got engaged, all this stuff. Everything's going good. Then toning it back down, getting like a little serious again.
Okay.
Peyton's biological father had making the choice to step away permanently, like zero involvement.
Okay.
That is the reason why I call her my daughter, because there is no other father figure or involvement.
Is that for the good?
Absolutely.
Okay. I mean, I've heard of those stories before where it's just like, it's the best that, and oddly enough, normally it's the father. Like when he steps away.
I'm definitely biased, obviously.
Yeah.
It might sound shitty, but I would rather it be this way.
Yeah.
Because when he was there, it was one of those situations where it's very inconsistent.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, I'll get her this week and I'll see you again in 2 months, and then I'll cancel on you on your birthday, and it was one of those.
Garbage.
So I think like one big separation was best for her overall in her life.
Yeah.
And especially me knowing that I won't miss a thing. Being her father and father figure has only been a plus side to meeting Tori.
Yeah.
A lot of kids happen by accident, you know, but I'm like happy to say that I was literally able to pick mine.
Yeah.
It's just from like a weird perspective there.
Yeah. I think too, I mean, not really ever being in that situation, but I've heard this from like other people, is that might have been her, how they put, like, that might have been her father, but you're her dad, or vice versa. How basically where it's just like, yeah, that's biological, but it's the real bond. The example that I would use, because I'm actually a huge fan of his, and I don't know whether you knew this about this, Shaq, real dad left him at a very young age. His mom met a man. He ended up going in the army, and like really like was that father figure. And then later on, obviously when Shaq became big, he was just like, no, this is my dad. You're not.
Yeah, and Peyton just turned 4.
Yeah.
I don't think this is biased, but Peyton is definitely very smart for her age.
Okay.
I know every parent says that, but especially with her being in like daycare and being around other kids, I'm like, I can tell that she's accelerated.
Yes.
She knows that he's gone. She knows that he left. She can see it, and she's brought it up. When we pray every night, we do pray every night, but she doesn't say it every night. She has said before, I'm really sad that my dad left, but I'm very thankful for my papa.
That's awesome.
So she gets it for what a 4-year-old could possibly get it.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that as she gets older, we're going to have more conversations about it. She's going to ask about them. And I went through like a really weird phase of like major jealousy about that. Because like there was a long time like when he was around, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It was like I hated hearing the word dad, because I was raising her. I was there.
Mm-hmm.
I was financially responsible. I was there when she was afraid of thunderstorms. I was dad, but I was called Pete.
Oh, we're actually going to go with your first name.
Yeah, I thought I paused for a second because I didn't know if we were going to do that. But
that's
I think everybody knows it.
Because I kind of want to. We can talk about it later. I want to talk about how I figured out what your real name was.
So hearing the word dad was always real rough, and I got like real jealous and real like bad anxiety and some stuff I can't even really explain.
Yeah.
But something that Peyton has really helped me with is managing my emotions, managing anger and hurt and sadness, and really helped me grow up. Like, Peyton has done more for me than I think any other human has.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know where else we could go with your family. Like, we went down a rabbit hole that I didn't even expect.
Me neither. I never expected to talk about this shit on a podcast.
Talk about whatever you want to talk about. I mean, there's people out there that don't want to talk about other things. Like, I don't know if we want to go the Pete route.
Go ahead.
I'll transition into that of how I figured out what your real name was. For some reason, I think you sent me a friend request on Facebook. I was going through a time where a lot of people were just like sending me friend requests, but I could tell that they were wrestling fans because some of them mutual friends. And I'm like, I don't know who everybody is, but I would be nice. I would accept, but I would unfollow.
Mm-hmm.
And that also tells me of who interacts with me other than just regular stuff. So
you unfollowed me?
I followed you immediately because I didn't know who you were. I've told you this, so don't ask.
You have not told me this.
Yes, I have, because I told you that what happened was when you bought the Caden shirts, which you actually bought a onesie too. I remember.
Yes.
I think you were the first one that I seen, but I know there was other people. But you had bought it, and like your name came up, and I was like, "Oh, I'm friends with him on Facebook. I recognized that name when it came through." And I went to your Facebook. I'm like, "Oh, that's Ryder Reid. I'm an idiot."
So what you're telling me is that you accept friend requests to look like you have more friends, but you don't want to hear from said friends.
My whole thing is, it depends on why people are adding me on Facebook, because you have people that are like, "Oh, I want to be friends," but I don't know if the person who is adding me is like listen to the podcast and that's why they're adding me, or do they just go to like people you may know and go add. I've learned, like, I could tell later on, like, who is like, okay, who is somebody who's maybe a fan, but who's somebody who's even just not even a local fan, like, oh, they recognize my face.
Right.
But then there's other people like you just trying to get like wrestling people to add you, and like, it's annoying.
I agree.
So I try to get out of that, but I thought you were.
So that's how you found out what my name was?
Yes.
You want to hear a funny story about that?
What?
When I was first training and we were coming up with like names and stuff,
yeah,
I told Dom that I wanted to use my shoot name, which is Pete Burger.
Yeah.
And he very kindly, well, I had messaged him that, and he didn't respond. He wanted to wait until training when we were in person. And he was like, "Now, Pete, a lot of wrestlers, or pretty much all wrestlers, use a work name."
Yeah.
And fans know that. Fans know that most names are not their birth names.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to believe that your last name is actually Burger. They're going to think that you made it up. And then they're going to think that you're stupid for picking Burger. And I was like, you know what? I'm insulted, but you're right.
I mean, I knew Burgers, so I would kind of get it. I mean, there's a lot of weird last names out there.
Pete Burger doesn't sound like a wrestler.
Sounds like a burger.
Ryder Reid sounds like a damn wrestler.
Where did the name come from?
TKD thought of it. I had nothing to do with it.
Oh, wow, what a story.
We were sitting there at like pre-show. I was like, I want something that like isn't a common name, but also isn't like ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't know anybody named Ryder, but it's also not like Torch. Like,
yeah. Because sometime with wrestlers, like, oh, like if they're coming up with a name, that they'll kind of tell you like where certain inspirations came from.
Yeah, I got one.
Yeah, because I was wondering, like, okay, Ryder, maybe Zach Ryder, but I'm like, Reid? Like, maybe you'll have a good story on that. You have it's no. So I got to ask TK.
I wanted 2 R's for logo purposes.
That's fine. So he came up with Ryder. So I have to ask him. How he came up with your name. It's probably just like, just pick like that's 2 R's.
I mean, honestly, it's the most anticlimactic like reasoning that you'll ever have.
Killing it. So also, I did have an issue with this when I was listening to like other podcasts. Tori would be often called your wife. And I was even like, wait a minute, that's not right. But then
let's dive into that, because this has been an issue for a while.
And then you today said fiance. I was like, okay, I'm not crazy. I didn't think they were married, but I at least engaged.
Yes, we are engaged. We are not legally married. The only reason that we are not legally married is I want to give her a nice wedding, and I am a wrestler and broke.
Yeah.
That is the one thing that we are waiting on, and we are saving up for that.
Okay.
Burger/Ryder Reid wedding coming to you real soon.
Are you coming down the aisle on a skateboard?
Hey, honey, permission?
Are you Okay, I'm thinking that.
I wanted a Star Wars wedding to have like different like stormtrooper helmets on like each of like the tables as like a centerpiece.
Okay.
And have like Darth Vader and Kylo Ren on like our table, but like all of like the guest tables get like a stormtrooper stuff. And she said no.
Okay. Is there anything like besides that with the wedding? Or we're
talking about like the whole wife thing. So I call her that because it's.
I want to get back to that though.
Because life is, we are. Everything about us is married. We are on the mortgage together. All of our bills are together. We have 2 children together. We are as married gets without her having my last name.
Okay, yeah. I wish my girlfriend could hear this right now, but yes.
Why?
Because it's kind of the same thing.
Oh.
Well, I mean, we've been together 3 years. We didn't move in till 2 years in, and it was mainly because...
3 weeks, get on my level.
Dude, I even thought, like, I had an ex that we moved in after, like, a couple months. I think it was March, April, May, June, 4 months. And that was because at 4 months in, her mom wanted her to move out. She moved in with me and my mom.
Similar situation?
Yeah, that's kind of a similar situation. But that's an ex now for a reason. But, yeah, we waited 2 years because she didn't have, like, a good enough job after 1 year to, like, definitely do rent and everything. That's since changed. And I had just moved like 3 or 4 times within like a couple years. And I was like, I need to sit at a place for like 2 years for once.
Yeah, right.
And I was just renting a room at a friend's house. So after 2 years, we got our own place and like we're in an apartment. Now we're like furnishing it and all that kind of fun stuff. So like we just got a king size bed and that was the best upgrade ever.
We have a fucking full size bed. It's bad.
Yeah, we had
us 2 and a dog.
So see, why have a small dog? But even then, like
a small dong.
Small dog. Dong too, but you don't want to talk about that. Basically, like we had like a weird size bed. I think it was like in between full and queen, I want to say. It was, like I said, a weird. Yeah, I bought it off a friend and they were like, yeah, it's an in between size bed. Anyway, yeah, we finally we upgraded that. That was huge. But it's kind of the same thing. She's pushing more towards let's get married, let's have kids, and I'm like, we're getting there. But
it's a trap,
kind of. The funny thing
it's a good trap if you like her.
The funny thing is too, I could talk about it on here because she'll never hear it. Like maybe like one of the benefits for what happened to me recently when my mom passed away, I got her a wedding band and set. I'm gonna eventually get a new diamond for it because like the main diamond fell off, and I want to get a better set for it, and that's what I want to use.
Sentimental, great.
Yeah, she doesn't know it. I don't even think she knows I have the ring.
She's not
listening to this podcast.
She's not into his interests.
Well, here's the funny thing. She was listening to another podcast I was doing for a while. She loved it because it was more of a personal thing, and then she ended up deleting the podcast app. And then, like, recently, she's like, "Oh, can you help me download the podcast app?" I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "I want to listen to the Bella's podcast." She doesn't want to listen to this.
She'll listen to the Bella's podcast?
She likes the Bellas. She likes Total Bellas and all that.
Why?
Because she's a female?
Still.
You can give me that look, but you know a lot of females like that shit. So, yeah.
Ms. and Mrs.? That's a good show.
Oh, I love that show. We watched that show, too.
Anyway, we were talking about the wedding.
Okay, you said
we were probably on a certain topic that we have to go back to like 6 or 7 topics ago.
So CM Punk. The wedding thing. You explained why. Is there anything that you want to do besides that? Because I think too, when it comes down to it, like I'm fine with the wedding being traditional, but like reception, there has to be something that's like my flair.
Something like gimmicky.
Yeah, like I'll tell you what mine is, and I've seen this done. Is I want the whole bride party, groom party, the wedding party come out to wrestlers' themes. And you can pay for it. And his health, I don't know if it's good enough anymore. Howard Finkel used to do the... Yes, you can go on YouTube and like he's like announcing like, and the bride, the mother of the bride, like everything, like every single... like, and like you would see like certain families do the... every couple would come out like maybe a different tag team, or like one would have each different theme.
Honey, can we come out to DX? Yes? We got a yes. But I mean, Philly and Marino are probably going to come out to Philly and Marino.
That's what I was thinking.
Why would PME not be invited to our wedding? PME, if you're listening to this, take this as a formal invite.
And then I want me and my girlfriend, that time obviously my wife, come out with championship belts. I want to do wing dingle.
She is so mad at you right now.
Why? Because I'm just adding to it.
Because you're filling me with ideas.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
And
I wanted to do Star Wars.
I mean, I've seen the Star Wars thing. I've seen like the lightsaber battle between the husband and wife.
She wouldn't do it.
You could cut off his hand. Like you could be the Darth Vader and be like, whoosh.
And then tell me that she's my father. Well, at least she'll say I'm your daddy.
I'm your poppy.
Papi chulo.
Any other topics that I was going to talk about? Okay, here's one that I want to. When we were talking about kids, this is something I thought of, or just a family, because you're a parent. Technically, you're here too, but you might need to talk in the microphone for this part. Is there a particular movie or movies that your children watch way too much and you're sick of?
Reputation tour.
Wow, it is. That's not a lie. Peyton knows every single word and almost every single dance move to Taylor Swift Reputation tour on Netflix.
Videos for proof.
Let me know when she's memorized all of Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriends.
Taylor Swift doesn't even memorize all of Taylor Swift's ex-boyfriends.
Oh, that's so true. But just that, there's nothing else.
That's current.
That's such a from the outside point of view, that's weird because normally it's like a certain like Disney movie. But to say Taylor Swift, that is.
If you want to talk Disney, it's probably Coco.
Oh,
that's such a good movie, though, and I was very okay with that. I was very okay with her being into that because I loved that movie.
I'll tell my story about this. I think I told this recently, but we went to go see it when it came out. It was like Thanksgiving weekend. My girlfriend fell asleep. At the time, we were using MoviePass. So, like, it was like she wasted her money, fine, whatever. Like, I got to see it. I loved it. At the end, crying. She didn't really get it. And then when it came out, like, we had just bought an HD TV, 4K and everything. So I was like, all right, we got to buy this on 4K because it's going to be amazing on this TV. So we're watching it.
I love how into it you are right now. You're talking about Coco.
I love it. It's like in my top 10, I think, favorite movies. Especially that year. Oh, so good. But we're watching it. And, like, it's getting close to the end. And she's just looking at me, like, especially after Miguel comes back. And he goes to Grandma Coco. And he's about to sing. And, like, she's just tears running down her face. I look at her, tears running down my face. I've already seen it.
This is the second time.
Crazy part about that story, I think it was that next week, her grandmother passed away. And I was like, how
many dark turns is this conversation going to take? Like,
but I was like, we picked the best weekend to watch that because you wouldn't have watched it afterwards, or you would just be a wreck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Coco, I love that movie.
There's also Moana, Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast classic. It's from before you were born.
Well, the live action.
Oh.
It's phenomenal, by the way.
I've seen it. Dude, I go to the movies all the time. I actually knew that Pet Sematary was out this year. I
still don't know what it is. And you're being sassy about it, so I don't know if I care.
Because it just came out. Like, I think I saw it like 2 weeks ago. Like, it's a modern. Anyway, what about Lion King?
I mean, well, I've seen it, but I don't know. Or that's not out. The live action isn't out yet.
Well, no doubt.
Dude, the fucking
Side note, I had to watch because I don't know how you're like. I was like, "What the f?
What the f? What?"
I said that when your daughter was out here. I don't know. Some people are like,
"Well, we've only been talking for hours now, and she's long in bed."
It was before she was in bed. She was right there. But I'm saying I wanted to just call back to it.
Oh, call back to what? Well, no, Derek made me flip her off.
You excited for Lion King?
Hell yeah, I'm excited for Lion King. There's gonna be some brutal scenes towards the end there, though.
Towards the end.
When what's his face dies, it's gonna be fucking hard to handle.
Well, Mufasa's at the beginning.
No, not Mufasa. Who's the dad?
Mufasa.
Mufasa's the dad. Oh, fuck him. He's.
I was like, wait a minute. Are you actually upset that?
No, somebody dies at the end.
Scar, the bad guy.
Yeah, dude, he's my dude.
Which I love Scar. I'm excited for
now that death is going to be brutal. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm excited for the updated version of Be Prepared, hopefully.
This isn't Tori Talk About Disney Movies podcast. We've done very little Ryder Reid conversations on this Ryder Reid interview.
Okay, you started that because you just literally like out of the gate started asking me questions. I think because we're in your house and shit. This is your podcast.
Man, maybe I should start my own podcast. Going back to that.
All right, well, what we should do though is actually wrap the show up.
This has been a train wreck, an awful show. Nobody is still listening. Not a soul. If you're still listening, like, get a life.
No, this is not live. Well, if you listen to the interview, it's not over yet.
Huh?
We have the Fave 5 questions.
Oh, that's right. Add another 20 minutes onto this.
Probably.
Hey, this is Booker T, 5-time champ, and this is the Fave 5 questions. Now, can you dig it?
Let's start with, I just added this, and I actually added this because of you. Listening to another podcast.
Because of me.
Listening to another podcast you were on, I was like, wow, this could be a question because I think people fall on one of two sides. You fall on a particular side. I already know what side you fall. Coffee or energy drinks?
Energy drinks all day.
Which brand?
Yes.
What brand's your favorite?
Bang.
Oh, you changed. It used to be Monster.
Yeah. And then Bang came out. I got that Monster for free today.
What flavor?
Now listen, I think a lot of people know this about me, but for those who don't, I am straight edge. Like, I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do any of that.
The punk thing now makes sense.
And I don't shut up. And I don't.
You listen to C music?
I do.
Okay.
Actually, CM Punk, you can say, got me into the music that I'm into because I was super obsessed with This Fire by Killswitch Engage, the song that he used to come out to, that I checked out, Killswitch Engage, and I was like, dude, this band fucking rules. And then I just dove into a rabbit hole of metalcore ever since then. So CM Punk technically got me into the music I'm into.
I've seen them live twice.
I've seen them live 8 times.
Twice within a couple months.
8 times within my life.
I'm just going to say I'm not huge on Killswitch, but I love, what was it, Adam's emo song?
Yeah.
That he used to do.
Adam is the funniest man alive. Like, the only metal musician that comes out in a bright pink turtleneck sweater, short shorts, and a cape.
And then he plays the emo song.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. We were talking about me being straight edge.
Yeah.
So I'm straight edge. And the only reason I'm straight edge, now, I don't see any issue with like drinking or having a good time. I completely get it.
Yeah.
I have a very addictive personality.
Okay.
And I think that the best way for me to never have a problem is to not pick it up in the first place. And I know that because of Monsters. I have a genuine problem.
Wow.
I have a serious monster problem. And Bang, which anybody who tells you that Bang is healthy is an idiot because it's not healthy, but it's definitely a better alternative.
Yeah.
Bang has helped me with that. So shout out to Bang.
As you drank a Monster today.
I got a free Monster today.
What's your favorite Bang?
What's that?
What's your favorite Bang?
I don't want to say it.
What is it?
Rainbow Unicorn.
I knew it. So you're like, I don't want to say I'm like Rainbow Unicorn. I just had that for the first time yesterday.
So good. Cotton Candy's good. Sour Heads is good.
I haven't had Sour Heads yet.
Blue Raz is good.
I think I've had that. The lemon sweet tea's weird.
I haven't had any of the tea ones yet.
Have you had the coffee? Cookies and cream coffee. Or keto coffee.
Ew.
It's not bad. Like, I was actually impressed. And I'm not huge into Bang. If I picked my brand, it's Rockstar. Love Rockstar.
Rockstar's good too. Like, I don't think I've had an energy drink that I don't like.
I have.
Which is also a problem.
I know I have. Or I just, I think this is going to taste good. I tried it. I was just like, oh, no, bad.
No, if I had to pick, I'd say Bang only because it's saving me from Monster and my probably early grave from Monster.
All right, question number 2. We got some on the table here. Wings, bone in or out?
Bone in all day. Wings with a bone out is a freaking chicken nugget.
Ask Mikey Millennial about that.
Why? What did he say?
He posted something basically saying that boneless is better.
So he's saying that chicken nuggets are better than chicken wings. They are separate things.
It's that SpongeBob meme of like one is Krusty Krab, the other one is Chum Bucket.
Yeah.
But it was between drums and flats, and then whatever like the third option was boneless. And it was like this because I'm not huge into SpongeBob, or it's just like this magnificent looking restaurant, even better than both. And I was just like, oh, so you're the only person that's going to stick up for this.
Dude, boneless wings are good, but they're chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
We should call them what they are,
I've heard that in chicken strips.
which are longer chicken nuggets.
Tomato. Question number 3. Let's go with rank the fast food chicken nuggets, McDonald's, Burger King, and Wendy's.
Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King.
Ooh, you're going on Team Wendy's.
Well, that's because that's the correct answer.
McDonald's. To me.
Hey, honey, what would you say? Rank those. She
I like it- I like-
refuses to talk into the microphone.
Here's the funny thing. She says same, and then you put the microphone towards her, and she like goes back. It's like, you already spoke.
She refuses to talk into the mic. She's going to act like she doesn't stop running her mouth when the mic isn't around.
So you go Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King.
Absolutely.
Just admitting that Burger King is definitely a third option, and it's just third place.
I've listened to the podcast before, and I know that this is the common consensus.
Maybe Mikey Millennial's going to be the one that would say, oh, Burger King's the best.
Have you asked him that?
I don't think he's allowed to be on a podcast again until he debuts.
Oh, yeah, that was an issue.
Yeah, which
We won't get into that.
It makes sense, though. That's all I'll say.
Oh, while we're on the topic of Mikey,
God.
he's getting about 100. Or is it 100 or 1,000 chops from his tweet? I just want to put it out there publicly because he's trying to deny it, and I would like to put it out there publicly that Mikey Millennial has it's either 100 or 1,000 chops coming
It's
to
got to
him.
be 100.
Because he was like,
For every retweet.
he was like, yeah, if I get so many retweets or so many followers or something, I'll post a video of me taking 100 chops.
Ooh.
And he has yet to do his chops because he got to his number.
Oh, yeah.
So we're waiting on a delivery there, Mikey.
All right, question number 4. I kind of prepped you on this early. AJ Gray question. What are your unpopular opinions and hot takes? Don't give me a look like I didn't. I even told you.
No, that wasn't what that look was for. Unpopular opinions or hot takes, like on what?
Whatever. It's anything. Whether it want to be wrestling, non-wrestling, anything.
Ah, man,
I'm not putting you on the
didn't-
spot because I prepped you.
yeah, but I didn't think about it. So give me a topic.
Music.
I'm pretty open with music. I hate country. That's about it. Well, not even. I like old country,
What do you define as old country?
like Johnny Cash.
Okay, correct answer. If you're like Garth Brooks, I was going to be like, no.
No, no, not old people making country, just old country.
Well, he wasn't old before. He became old.
Yeah,
But, yeah.
he's still not good.
Television shows?
Help me out. That's not a hot take. Meaning something that I don't go with the common people on.
I do not. I just I have no interest in Game of Thrones. That's the key.
It seems to be a popular thing to hate Walking Dead now.
I've never liked it.
Yeah, see? So, everybody was like, oh, like, it got boring and stupid. And I still think it's pretty great.
So I guess that would be an unpopular opinion that
Yeah,
Walking Dead's so
because
great.
I still think it's a quality, that they're producing quality content. What else?
Do you have anything in wrestling that's an unpopular opinion? You did mention one thing to me.
I hate tower spots.
So you don't like the Weird World.
That's a gimmick, though. That's like
Okay.
that's like the thing. I hate it when, I guess, like if you have like a 6-person scramble, and say you have like one person climbing to the top rope, and then you're gonna do a double superplex with double power bombs.
Okay.
It's like, we know about a minute and a half before this bump happens what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So you're taking a ridiculously high bump with zero pop because everybody already knows what's going to happen. And am I getting too? Because everybody knows what's coming. And if a person gives a superplex, they don't sell their back. But all of a sudden now there's a guy there giving them a power bomb, and they're taking the same exact bump, and they're all of a sudden dead from it. There's a lot about tower spots that don't make sense, and it just takes too long to do for little crowd involvement. I hate tower spots.
Any other unpopular opinions you could think of? Food?
Pretty open when it comes to food.
Not necessarily you're boring, but
I'm not.
I prepped you. That's my
Think
thing.
about it. I'm not picky. You want to that means I'm easy to get along with.
Well,
That means
yeah.
I could fit into different crowds.
But I feel like I think everybody has some sort of like, for example, like
Here, hot take. I don't like drinking. How about that?
I'll say it's a hot take,
Everybody drinks.
except you.
Right.
Are there any other students that don't drink?
Not to my knowledge.
I felt like there is, but I could be wrong. I mean, I know, like, does Dom drink?
I think so.
I know Koo.
I know he's not like a big drinker, but
I know Koo doesn't, but obviously he's not a student. All right, killed on that one. Question number 5, Brett?
you just asked me 2 questions, so we'd be on 3. You asked me hot takes and chicken nuggets. Or,
Energy drinks.
yeah, energy drinks. So 3. We're on 4.
You sure?
No.
1, 2. I've asked you 4.
I wasn't there for one of them.
Because actually, I forgot to fail to mention the hot takes question is the AJ Gray question. Coffee or energy drinks, wings, and nuggets.
5. We're on 5.
So I'm on. Yes, I'm on 5.
Like I said.
This is the Wilkman question. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I would ask me another question.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I haven't seen it.
Wow.
We're going to edit this out.
No, we're not.
Fuck.
Do you think it's a Christmas movie? Because I've had someone, I can't remember.
From what I've heard people say, yes.
So you're going to agree with them? Because people have also said no.
With knowing not a fucking damn thing about it, yes is my hard answer.
Okay. Well,
This is. Oh, can I do like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and like phone a friend or something?
who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. But
I'll call Pat.
I forget what he is, or whether it is or isn't. I can't remember.
Hey Siri,
No, we're not calling.
call Pat Franklin.
You put it close to the microphone. God.
Hey, I got a question for you. I'm on a game show, and they're allowing me to phone a friend, and I have to ask you a question.
Okay.
Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Die Hard is a Christmas movie?
No, is it?
I mean, that's debatable. My answer is yes.
So you would recommend me saying yes?
I think so, yeah, but I mean, it's debatable. It depends who they're asking. You know, it's hard to say. There's no factual evidence for that. It happens on Christmas. It's about Christmas, but some people argue it's not. I think it is, but, you know.
All right, I'm going to go with you on this one. I'm going to say yes, okay?
Yeah, it happens on Christmas. The reason he's there is because he's visiting his kid on Christmas with his ex-wife.
All right, man. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
Bye. So I'm going to say yes to your 5th question.
I mean, there's no right or wrong. It's just your answer.
Can you at least tell me I won $1 million?
Okay, you won $1 million.
Fucking yes.
I just told you. I didn't mean you actually
Babe, we can have our Star Wars wedding.
Well, what is your favorite wrestling? I'm texting Pat back. What is your favorite Christmas movie?
Just the Nightmare Before Christmas count? Because it's a Halloween and a Christmas movie?
It can count.
Then yeah, I'm going to say that. Like, you get to watch that movie twice a year. Halloween Eve and Christmas Eve.
That's another one that came out 4 year born.
And I didn't know about it until I met her.
Really?
Dude, I'm fucking weird.
I will say this.
I didn't have cable growing up.
Okay. But I will say this, that I'm trying to find the timeline of it, but starting at a certain age, every female loves Nightmare Before Christmas, I swear.
That's fair. That's very true.
But I don't know where it ends, where there's going to be like that age that goes, oh no, I don't like that movie.
It's like a 93 through like a 03 thing. Like that 10-year.
Maybe even longer. Like, I don't know, that it's been around forever. Like, there should be just a corner of Hot Topic that's like, this is dedicated to Nightmare Before Christmas, because this is...
There's a difference between, because I saw a girl at the IWC show wearing a Ramones shirt, and she looked like she was 13. I'm like, you can't name a song. Guarantee it. Or they in what's that store called? Forever 21 or something. They sell Slayer shirts.
Well,
it's
this is the take I've always heard on Slayer, because it's a band that I do not like. Seen them live, hated it. But
get out of my house.
They are a band that sold more T-shirts and patches than they did CDs.
Yeah, because people buy 6 T-shirts. Their fan base, people I'll call him out right now, Adam Laporta, who owns nothing.
20.
Who owns his daily outfit is camo cargo shorts and a Slayer T-shirt.
Worst band I've ever seen live.
You're a piece of shit.
The worst.
Get out of my house.
I stood there in the pit because you couldn't mosh at Blossom, and I just, with my arms crossed, I hated it.
You can mosh the Blossom. You just got to be on the grass.
But I was in the pit. And it was in between, oddly enough, Mayhem Fest main stage was from beginning to end.
Was this Mayhem 09? Because it was Mushroom Head, Killswitch Engage, Slayer, and Marilyn Manson.
Yes. Were you
Fuck
there?
with me, dude.
Were you there when you're 12?
Yes. I was. I love Killswitch. I watched Cannibal Corpse and fucking Trivium on the side stages.
I remember watching him, but I remember also being...
That was one of my first, like, metal shows.
Yeah.
And my biggest memory of that was the dude from Cannibal Corpse saying, this next song, we're going to have a headbanging competition. You can try to keep up, but I promise you, you will fail. And surely enough, everybody in the crowd failed.
All I remember about that show was the only thing I had to eat that day, or drink, I should say, was just the free Rockstar that you got in the tent.
Yeah.
It literally, it was like, oh, you can't take it out? Okay.
Yeah, right.
Throw some in your pocket, come back later. That's all I drank that day.
That was such a great show.
It was fun. And then I had seen Killswitch just a couple months before with Disturbed.
They were at House of Blues.
No.
No?
No.
Gora?
No.
Where?
When it was the Tower City Amphitheater.
Oh, okay.
It was beginning to end. Lacuna Coil, Chimera, Killswitch, Disturbed.
Disturbed fucking sucks.
Nah, I don't mind them.
And all bands with that sound, with that style of vocals are fucking terrible.
I don't care.
Hick metal.
Yeah. I grew up in Ritztown. You ever heard of it?
No. It sounds inbred.
I've always said we're known for two things. One being a country bar called the Dusty Armadillo. That's a fact.
I've heard of that too.
Yeah, it's very, like, the biggest thing we have there. Oh, and it's also the former home of UFC fighter Jessica Evil Eye. That's all we're really known for. That's it.
Yeah, well, we have Stipe Miocic.
And at one point, they were both at the same gym. But, yeah. All right, let's get your question number 6 in. To tailor around who I have on. And we've dug through so much shit with you. Holy shit.
This is going to be like a 3-hour episode.
We're at almost 2 hours recording, but we also had like 10, 15 minutes where we were just bullshitting while I was recording. So
you're going to have to edit a lot out. I'm sorry.
Just silence. There's a lot of talking.
Do your thing.
Okay. Haven't really thought of one for you, but let's go with
And you're going to come in here and yell at me for not being, like, prepared? You know what you do on your own podcast. You don't even have, like, a question set up?
Because
come to my house and insult me.
Because what I do is I think of them sometimes in the middle. But with you, I just listened to 2 of the podcasts you had just been on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be like, I did hear this.
Is there anything that you wanted me to go deeper in?
No, you covered a lot. The fact that we got to, like, your real name and a lot of personal stuff, like, I didn't even expect some of that.
Me neither.
Because you're just like, oh, like, talk about family. I'm like, all right, yeah, your family, dude. Like, that really hasn't been talked about. And you're just like, well, here it is. I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like.
Question number 3. You asked for it.
Number 3?
Not 3. Teaser. Question number 6.
Yeah.
When's the 3rd baby coming?
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Ohio law that you must be 24 years old to have a vasectomy. I am counting down the days to my 24th birthday, and I'm getting that vasectomy.
I mean, there was 100 comments on that one post.
Yeah, I know. I know damn well how many comments there were. Now, look, when I was younger, I wanted one boy. I wanted one boy and one girl.
Yeah, I feel you on that one.
I got exactly that. You want to know what my number one argument is for not having a third child?
Twins?
You want to know what my number 2 argument is for not having a third child?
Triplets?
We can keep going with this.
I know we can keep going with it.
When they are of sport, like of age of playing sports.
Yeah.
What if Peyton is in soccer and Micah's in football? What if our third child is a boy and wants to play what's another fall sport?
Cross country.
What if he wants to do cross freaking country? There's only 2 parents.
They're normally on different days. The games are on different days.
Shut your mouth. There is I don't want one child to have to sacrifice attention and love to give it to another. I don't want the financial I would like to give my 2 children the best life that I can give them financially and not have to take away from 3 different children.
Okay.
And
that being said, what year?
I wanted to have my children young so I can be done raising them young and enjoy like at this rate when we're 40, if all goes according to plan, when we're 40, we'll be able to hop on my motorcycle and just go and see stuff, go on vacation because the kids will be grown. I won't be raising kids at 40 while everybody else is.
Don't make fun of me.
I'm not. I'm just saying.
No, because I'll be in my 40s.
I worked it a certain way. There's strategy to the way I've done things.
Yeah.
And she wants to wait like 5 years to have another kid. I'm like, you're ruining the plan.
Well, at that
I had this mapped out when I was like 10 years old. You're not ruining this.
Well, at that point, that's like a high school generation, so there won't be any compromise.
I'm gonna kill him. You're gonna find pieces of Justin Summers' body in my basement.
Pat'll help me. Pat'll save me, maybe.
So if I'll say this publicly, if I have it my way, there will not be a 3rd child. But usually, with a redheaded fiance, you don't get what you want. She's sitting right here, so Justin doesn't know what he can say and what he can't say.
What would I say?
You're going against one of us right now. Whose side you on, Justin? Whose side you on?
I got to go with her.
You want there to be another baby Reid running around?
It's the red coming out and made
that You really think that there should be another baby Reid?
I think maybe there's probably going to be one.
What do you mean there's probably going to be one? I play a key role in making that happen.
Yeah, but she'll win. You know it.
Everybody says that. Why does everybody say this? Like, does nobody have any faith in me?
No.
Swear to God, if it's a girl. 3rd child, if you hear this one day, I didn't want you.
My bigger thing is going to be, as soon as there's like announcement, I'm just going to like clip this up and like send it to you.
All of like the pregnancy announcement pictures are just going to be me with my face in my hands, just super like rubbing my nipples, just super stressed out.
All right, let's wrap the show up. Any final thoughts or last minute plugs before we go?
You said that really fast. What the fuck did you just say?
I said let's wrap this show up.
Okay.
And any final thoughts or last minute plugs before we go? That's something I say.
I think it's
every episode.
I think it's time to plug my social media, right?
That would be a plug.
Facebook.com/Ryder Reid. Instagram is at Ryder Reid Wrestling. And Twitter is at Ryder_Reid. Reid is REID, by the way.
Yes.
Last minute thoughts. To summarize, CM Punk is the GOAT. Justin Summers needs to memorize his intro. My family's pretty freaking awesome. Hopefully that there's no more additions to it.
You're gonna have a Star Wars wedding?
Star Wars wedding.
What if she compromised? Star Wars wedding.
Not worth it.
Okay.
Not worth it.
Okay. She was shaking her head too, so.
Not worth it.
You agreed.
Wait, you wouldn't be willing to do... If I agree to have a 3rd child, you wouldn't do a Star Wars wedding. This is a final thought. Okay. That'll be part 2 of this episode whenever we decide to do that.
Part 2? We're already at like 2 hours recording.
I have a lot to say.
You do. And, of course, you can find myself at Heavyset330 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, much like you can find this show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to this fine podcast, whether it be Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. I want to stop looking at Ryder Reid because I have to go into this part by looking at it because...
Oh, you were going so good. Ladies and gentlemen that are listening, Heavy Set Justin Summers just did all of that without looking at his notes. I am so proud. I'm a proud papa right now.
Well, I'm older than you. That's weird.
I'm your dad.
I have to read this part because I don't have it all memorized. Check out all our friends on the Trending Topics Network, such as All Beer Inside, Eurovision Showcase, Old School at the Movies, and Wrestling with Altitude. Check out our other podcasting friends such as Pod Van Dam, Road Home from Wrestling, Kick Out at 2, The IndieCast, Center Stage, So Bros Network, Big Gold Belt Podcast, Spotlight Series, and I Got Your 5 Stars. Check out our other non-podcasting friends such as Thrift Store Jobber, The Savage Dash, Set Tab Photo, Powerslam.tv. Use Wrestling Cheers, all one word, and get your first month free. Ringside Shots Photography, Sickening Pictures, Wrestle Void, Keon Sports, Stay Tough, Midwest Territory, Southern Underground Pro, and the official graphic designer of Wrestling Cheers, Moy Boy Designs. That will do it for us here on Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, especially when you're about to have your third child.
Not happening. Not going to happen.
Later.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Would you like to get away? Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
What you can say, rules are all the same. You're for everybody else, you're
Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 4,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 110 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
There needed to be the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire like music that's playing when they're on the phone.
Can you please dub that in?
I don't know if I can get a copyright
Those
strike.
listening, I am like literally crying right now. That was amazing.